Hi guys, it's Wayne Hurua here again. Worship keyboards, improvised stuff, prophetic things. When you get into that flowy worship time, you want to provide some kind of music for your worship leader to be able to, sing freely and lead a free time. Okay, first thing you need to know is numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is the same as 1, hence the word octave. 1 is a major, 2 is a minor, 3 is a major, but it's like a 1 over a 3 bass. That's generally what we do for 3s. Sometimes they play a 3 minor. Yeah, but for worship stuff, I reckon it's better just to do a 1 over a 3 bass. Then a 4 is major, 5 is major, 6 is minor, 7 is, again, supposed to be like a half diminished, which is weird. So we play a 5 over a 7 bass. It sounds like the 7s. Cool. If I go to the key of A, I don't have to think about A, C sharp, D, what's sharp and what's flat. I just think of the scale. I want to hear that in chords. That's what I want to hear. A, 2, 3, 4, 1, 4, 1. If I'm in the key of G, I don't have to think G, C, G. I just have to think 1, 4, 1 again. 1, 4, 1. E, A, E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you're communicating, your bass player, your guitar player all know, man, a 1, 6, 2, 5 should sound like 1, 7, 6, 2, 5. 1, 6, 2, 5. 1, 6, 2, 5. You just get used to the sound of that progression, the flavor of it. So then if I play it in D, it should sound the same. The vibe of it sounds the same. It's building a new muscle in you, a new musical muscle. It's not the one that reads notes. It's the one that hears the center tone of the chord. And then it gives you creativity to be able to do something with that chord. The 1 you can mess with. It doesn't have to be a straight 1. Make it a major 7 or something. The 6 can be a minor 7, minor 9, something different. 2 could be, add weird notes. The 5, it's about just calling the number 1, 6, 2, 5, and then you can mess around with those later on once you get the basic numbers in place. Each number has a flavor to it. In a scale like this. Number 1 is clearly home. When somebody says amen at the end of a worship time, that's the time to go home. You don't finish on a 5. Sometimes you can finish on a 4, but it's not over. Eventually, when somebody says amen, you really want to finish on the 1, right? So 1 means home. 2 feels like it's moving on. It's like the starting of our journey, right? 3 is the continuing of our journey. Now 3 is really cool because it can continue on from 2, or it can continue on from 4. It's a great passing chord. 1 is home, 2 is starting the journey, 3 is continuing, 4 is your pause along the journey. When you're driving a long period and you just see a rest area and you think, I need to just sit there and pause for a while and rest. That's exactly what 4 is. That's the first place we're going to go to after our song has finished and we're wondering what to do. Because it's a great place to pause, sit, think, what does God want to do here? What are we discerning and what are we going to sing? We sit on the 4. Okay, 5 is a launching place. 5 never wants to stay there. 5 has to go from 5. It's got to go home, or it's got to go back to the 4, or it's got to start a new journey on the 2. It's just got to go somewhere. Continue on to the 3. But it never wants to stay there. And I kind of always tell my guys, like, never finish on a 5. Kind of build 3, 4, 5. It's frustrating. There's no, don't take me home, please, or go somewhere, but don't leave me hanging. You go to 6 and turn the corner. 5 to 4, 5 to 2, 5 to 1, but 5 to 6 is, ooh, I didn't expect that, which is real cool. I turned a corner and went somewhere else. 7 is cool for like building up. If you start on a 6 to 7 to 1 to 2, and you can keep building like that. It's also great when you come in the other way. 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 5, launching into a 1, and continues on. Real triumphant sounding. Those are the numbers. Those are the flavors of the numbers, and those are the ones that you should really get used to in any key. It's just a major scale, what we call the diatonic chords. Diatonic chords of the diatonic scale. They're just straight, easy chords. Okay, so what do you do when you get to the end of the song? For me, it's about keeping time going. So as long as you don't stop the time of the song that you're finishing, then you've got options. And option number 1 for me is always go to the 4 chord. If I was in D, then I go to the 4 chord, and then as long as time is going, then it's an easy option to go to give yourself time to think, pause, and whatever else. So here's a song that we are doing currently called Altars, and at the end of it, this is what I would do if I was your musical director for that, and giving my worship leader something to do. Here we go. So this progression is 4 to 6 to the 1 chord, home, and then to the 5. So it's a nice progression, 4, 6, 1, 5. And this is the place where it finishes. So I'm going to keep my drummer playing the ride cymbal and go to the 4. All right, as long as time is there, I'm just sitting on the 4 chord, and it gives us time to think, time to discern. I can stay there for a long time. My worship leader can sing stuff over that. I surrender. Oh God, we surrender. And then we can decide on what to do. I can keep the same progression going. 6 to the 1. And I don't have to do a lot of stuff in between to the 5. I don't have to do a lot of stuff in between, which is where I find keyboard players kind of mess up because they play too much. This I'm letting the pad do the work. So although I'm keeping the same progression, they can sing anything over it. I worship you, oh God. I worship you, oh God. I give you all I am, all I am. Really, really easy stuff. But all you are doing is providing a musical foundation for your worship leader to then prophesy over. And believe it or not, it's the same chords as the song you just came from. And as long as the drummer is keeping time, you got something to play to. All right, so let's go. Let's say we finished that. We sang around that for a while, and we just sit on the 4 again. You'll notice my 4 chord is a doesn't sound as like a straight 4 chord. Here's the straight 4 chord. Okay. I'm making it a little bit more pretty by adding a major 7. Then I'm taking the 3 and making it a 2, which is what's called a major 9, because 7 plus 2 equals 9. And if I took the bass note away, you'd discover that chord was a straight D major. It's just a 1 through 5. Over the 4 bass, it's a 9 chord. Real pretty, right? So really easy. And it's literally the same chord as the 1. Option number 2 is you sit on the 4 chord. As long as time's going, then you just need to add like another chord, and that chord will have a flavor to it. Rather than making it 4 chords, just make it 2. Your progression is 2 chords. Jesus. And then we sit on the 4 chord for a while. And then I'm going to change to a 2 chord. Back to the 4. And then the 2 again. And then back to the 4. So it's really easy, right? 4, 2, 4, 2. And it gives your worship leader something to sing over. It's just another option. You would have noticed, and it's pretty. Point is, it's just 2 chords. And you can communicate that easy to your band. Ready? 4, guys. Sit down to the 2. Back to the 4. You know, what's funny is the chord that I'm playing in my right hand is really just the same chord. It's basically that. And then the same. I'm just adding that other note. Another option, 4 to 6. Hey, it's got its own flavor. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And you could sing a lot of stuff over there. There's this cool function on this keyboard, which is filter, which makes the pad sound brighter, as it gets bigger and bigger. And that's that's more the deal for me with keyboards. It's starting the progression, but then building up with your band. The dynamics is what makes your prophetic time kind of flow. So if I was talking to the band, I'd ask the drummer to come in with a kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, kick, kick, boom, 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 kick, so I don't have to do much on the keys. It's really just the bass and drums that are adding it, all the dynamic. And then they can build even more. Kick, 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 kick. Build even more. Kick, kick, can bring the filter back down again. It's a bit softer. So we're sitting on our 4 chord, and it gives us lots of time to think and lots of time to pray and discern and mess around with stuff. We've done the 2, we've done the 6. Why don't we try building? There's a cool little progression here, which starts on the 2, 3, and then moves up to the 3, 4, to the 5, and back to the 2. Two, 3, 4, 5. Everything about it says, I'm building. I'll get my band to build. Build. 2, back to the 2. Down to the 1. Let's go to the 1. 7. It's just got a triumphant kind of feel to it. 6. And you'll notice again, the right hand is the same chord. 5. It's a 1 over a 5. 4. 3 will fit. And then I change for the 2 chord, which is it's just the G to the 5. Just build up, guys. And 1, 2, 3 to the 7. Hey, real triumphant sounding. I'm sure you can sing stuff over there. Jesus took us to victory, yeah. I'd sing more, but I've already got no voice, so. 2, 5. And then we finish on the 1. Like, all the options are pretty easy. It's just making them pretty, and that's where you would have heard just some of the chords that I'm doing is just a lot prettier. If you can work them out in an easy key, you'll notice that most of the stuff that I was doing was pretty much the same chord on that scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On the right hand, all I'm doing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But it's the left hand that's making it sound like the numbers. It's just really pretty when you get to a 4 chord. Even playing the 1 chord over there makes it really pretty. 7s. A 1, a major 7. That's nice. A minor 7. 2. Minor 7. Nice. That's got adding a 2 in it. It's nice. The 4 is a major 9. That's really nice. The 5 is straight 5, but then you can kind of keep on a 4 over the 5 bass. So that 4 major 7 we had over the 5 bass is actually really nice. And then you just kind of resolve it. The 5 over a 1 chord over a 5 bass is really nice. The 5 chord is the kind of chord you can do lots of nice, beautiful things to it, weird things to it. Flat 5. I mean, that's the everyone loves the 5 chord because of those weird things you can do to it. But we would just generally stick with the 4 chord over 5 bass. Yep. The 6, just that's a minor 7, a minor 7, a minor 7. That's the 7th note. It's the minor 7th note of that scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a 3, it's the 5, and there's the 7 on top again. If I add a 9 to it, real pretty. The 7, just adding these notes. That's like a 2 of the 5 chord, and then 1. Some ideas for progressions. 6-5-4 is a great one. Once you're sitting on your 4 chord and the time is going 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's a real pretty 5, and then 4. What you'll notice is that there's a common note, and that's that note there. That's the one that's keeping it anchored while everything changes underneath it. And that's what gives it that pretty sound. That is the most basic form of melody. You'll often hear jazz guys talk about melody. Yeah, melody, everything's about melody. And it is, it totally is. To me, holding the one note common throughout the whole thing is like a form of melody. And then to finish it off at the end. Melody is like key, if you know what I mean, and giving the thing character and not just kind of playing chords. I'll be doing a simple melody like that. And see how long I can keep it going. Right? It's not a difficult melody. It's literally 2 notes. But it's just keeping common throughout the whole thing. I was doing it in another key. It's the same deal, it's the same chords. Or if I didn't want to mess around with it, just go straight back to it again. So I could keep that. And the good thing about a melody like this is it means a guitar player can pick up on it. When it builds up, it can get really triumphant as long as you're lifting your dynamics of your band. Most powerful times I've been in worship like that is when the dynamics lift. It's something really simple. It's not about the complexity of your chords. It's more about simply picking a simple progression. 6-5-4 is a really good one. 2-3-4-5 is the building one. 1-7-6-5-4 is real triumphant. 4-2 is easy. 4-6 is easy. And then picking a melody, a really simple 2 or 3 note melody that you can put on top, and then just building the dynamics of your band. Build the band up, bring the band back down again, and then you've got yourself a real powerful time. Musically, you're giving your worship leader and your singers everything they need to be able to come up with something really strong and prophetic. But what throws worship leaders when you get into free stuff is when you change it up too much. If you start on something and then they just started to get used to it. Oh, we worship you. We worship you. And then they hear that melody, they think, yes. We worship you. We worship you. And then we change it into something else, and you lose them because then they have to start again. So so don't your objective is not to fool your worship leader. Your objective is to give them something really repetitive that builds in dynamic and then comes back down again so that they can flow with that. Cool. Okay, so that's pretty much all I wanted to cover with you for now. Just wanted to make something really simple, real easy that your keyboard players can follow, can provide you with some kind of musical backing for your prophetic times, and I hope they go really well. God bless you all.